for coming. So first of all, it's a huge Yasher Koach to Gal and Yosef for opening the kitchen to us a week before Pesach, 2 weeks before Pesach to make us in this stage. What we're going to do is we're going to go through 11 different parts of our kitchen. Just a quick reminder, we do this every year, but it's a good opportunity just to remind ourselves what we're doing. Let's start off with our ovens. We have a double wall oven over here, and this is a regular electric oven. Okay, so we have top and bottom. I assume one's Fleischek, one's Param or Milchek. And so let's assume for a second this is not self-clean. Okay, so let's assume this is not a self-clean, or the self-clean is broken for it. So the first thing I want to do is do a good clean. So that would mean to say is like a lot of times when it comes to a regular oven, just regular usage, there's going to be stains, there's going to be splashes. That's just how it works with a regular oven. So you need to use something like a more caustic type of soap, unless of course your oven specifically says that it shouldn't be used. You want to go over all those stains, and there's going to be stains which are just not going to come out, just the way it is, right? So it'll be that let's say you do your regular clean, and some stains are not coming out. You do a second round on those hard spots. You leave it for 24 hours. You put a little sign on it. We're not using it for 24 hours. After 24 hours, you put it to its highest, whether it's broil or 450. You put it out on that for 40 minutes, and that is your kashering. That's what's called a libun kal. 450 degrees is like we'll call it a lower grade kashering. If you have clean 24 hours and then the highest for 40 minutes to an hour, that is sufficient for our kashering. Much easier, greater standard is if you do self-cleaning. So this is a self-cleaning oven as it happens to be. If you want to do the self-clean, then actually technically speaking, the cleaning is much less. So you don't really need to clean, because the reason is in a real self-clean oven, it's going to incinerate everything. So everything's going to turn into ash. It is recommended to do a clean around the edges over here before you do it, and to wipe out the ash afterwards as well. It's important to know that there are some new ovens which are called like Aqualift, or different types of self-clean, which are lower grade self-cleans. Those aren't a libun gomer. A libun gomer is when it's the highest level. It's going up to 850, 900 degrees in there. It burns everything inside. That does not need the 24 hours, does not need the intensive cleaning, and that can be done right away. The reason why people are more hesitant, even if they do have a self-clean oven, is we've all been in that situation where we've self-cleaned and the oven breaks. And that just happens from time to time. Our ovens can only do a certain amount of self-cleans. So tip number one is just make sure you're doing the self-clean if you're doing it well before Pesach, just in case it does break. It's not on your Erev Pesach. And number two is if you decide not to, you don't want to go that route because the oven's getting older, you're worried about it's playing up in other ways, then go the other route, but that means you need to leave yourself that 24-hour period in order to be able to clean, leave, and then burn out regularly as well. Cool? That's ovens as well. Any questions on ovens yet?
Yes, the outside of the oven.
Yes. Oh, so outside oven is just a wipe down, really. You know what I'm saying? Like wipe down with Clorox wipes or whatever else it is. That's not really the kashering, that's more like the handling, right? As well, because generally speaking, the ovens are made of safety so much so that the outside is not getting heated in the same way. So it's more just like you don't want to have chametz hands that I've been touching as well. It's the inside which things are cooked in. That's the real issue as well.
So no issue of covering the knobs and the handles?
No issues covering that. You need to wipe them down, but that's more than that's not necessary. Cool. Good. Yes.
What about the glass? Like sometimes stuff goes inside the two layers of glass, and then what do you do?
Yeah. So that's not an issue. That's not an issue. Yeah. Okay. It's very unusual for it to get there, and if it is getting, it's usually not getting out of there as well. You clean around it. You do the self clean, and you're all set.
And so like even those little spots, like if after a self clean or even after a libun kal, if there are those little like black spots, you don't have to sit there with a knife.
No. Yeah. So what I would say is just those spots that don't come off, which there's always are. So if you do, one time really well, the second time, and you try it, that's what's called nifsal me'achila. That means to say it's not going to be. If there was anything there that was chametz, it's not going to be eaten. It's burned. It's done. Okay. So that's the same issue. Same thing like the car seats as well. Like you do bittul, there's little in the cracks of the car. You just run a Clorox wipe. Nobody's eating that. It's gone. Right. So it's nifsal me'achila. So you're all set. Okay. One thing just to mention as well is with the broiler. So there are sometimes inserts over here, like there's griddles and plates that go for the broiler. Most people don't use them, but if you do want to use them, that actual item itself would require a libun gomer, which means to say either using a blowtorch to bring it to red hot temperature, or to put it in a self-clean cycle as well, or just to get a new one for Pesach. But generally speaking, we're not doing this. We're not going that fancy for Pesach. We're just trying to get through. But that's something just to be aware of. Even if you don't kasher the broiler, you can use it regularly, your oven on a regular basis. Okay?
And the
Yes.
self-clean cycle would be done with the racks inside.
Racks inside, yes.
And any dots or marks on the rack afterwards are still okay.
Totally fine, yeah,
Okay.
as well. And for the same thing, we'll go with the libun kal. If you're doing the we'll call it iteration A, you'd want to clean the racks, put them back inside, 24 hours, and then the highest for 40 minutes to an hour, and you're set as well. And anything that's left on them after that, same thing as the door, same thing as the walls as well.